Chad, we just poured our second gin and tonic here, and I got to tell you, it is damn tasty.
It is really good. It is very, very good.
You are missing out, friend. So, Jay, we are...
Chad's like, fuck you guys.
We are beer nerds here. Could you regale us with some stories of doing business with providing barrels to Goose Island?
Yeah, for sure. So that was actually kind of cool. So we did some business with the brew pub down on Clybourne. And how did John get a hold of me? I forget how John got a hold of me. I know a guy who used to work there who's at Cruz Blanca, the head brewer at Cruz Blanca. I feel like John got a hold of me through him. So John's one of the brewers at the brew pub down there. He reached out to me. We do whiskey. We do a couple different whiskeys that we call our American single malt whiskeys that are derived from beer mash bills. So like I take the malted barley for a stout and I turn it straight into a whiskey. And now it has the heavier kind of coffee and chocolate type notes that you would get from the roasted barleys and the heavier roasted caramel malts. But anyways, John had we did one called an American Brown. So it was a brown ale we turned into a whiskey. And he had it and he loved it. And it was I'm going to get this wrong. Was it just the 30th anniversary of BCBS?
I don't even know that.
No, not that long ago.
Well, no, it might be because they started. They did their initial. No, that was mid-90s.
Yeah, I was going to say
when he did it.
20 something at the oldest.
20? Okay.
Yeah, it was probably 20 or maybe 25, Jay. Max.
Yeah. So for that, they were going back to their original barrel profile with Jim Beam, and because of the brew pub, that's not the stuff that goes to market. It just stays in the brew pub. They wanted to put a local spin on it. So he reached out. He's like, hey, I had the brown ale. I love it. He's like, we wanted to do some of your bourbon barrels. So they took some of our bourbon barrels, and I talked him into the stout barrels as well, the stouted barrels that we had, because my whole thing has always been, hey man, if all these people love bourbon barrel aged stout, to me, now you're really going to mind fuck people if you put a stout in a stouted whiskey barrel, because everyone's going to be like, what the hell's that? And you're just doubling down on that flavor profile. So they did it. They had it on tap. I think they got like 9 cornies out of it. And they had it on tap in the brew pub. So it was pretty cool, man. And, people would ping me every once in a while. They're like, oh, your barrels are at Goose, at the brew pub. And I'm like, that's awesome. So it was cool to get a nod from, the OG and now big guys out there. And they still obviously with the wood program have a lot of cachet locally here. So that was a fun little thing.
Did you have the beer?
Yeah. So they did. It is a funny story. I won't give the details because I don't know if you want me to. But what happened to the beer, they did it. They put it in. And then he decided to put cherries in it, I believe. I think it was just cherries, if I recall. And then he brought me over this super awesome, thermos Yeti type Goose Island branded growler, just because they have the coolest shit.
Just because
all the tchotchkes in the world.
They can.
And he brought it over in there. Yeah. The best part about it, he brought it over in there. We drank it together, John and his assistant brewer over there. We had it and hung out, and then we left it there, and I put it on the back desk of the distillery, and the thing disappeared overnight. I came back. I'm like, to my staff, I'm like, what happened to that thing? I'm like, I want it, the growler. Everyone's like, I don't know. I'm like, damn it.
Nobody knows.
Dicks.
Ganked.
Do you envision any, what are you doing with your barrels right now when you're done with making whiskey, other than perhaps...
Yeah, who else are you going to work with?
Are there barrel traders out there?
Yeah,
that,
what's the barrel trading world like?
Yeah, I'm kind of the asshole of it, I think, because there's a whole...
Well, you fit in well on this podcast, sir.
Yeah, right. There's a whole barrel brokerage company or industry out there, and they sell for ridiculous amounts of money, right? So when I have extra barrels, there's a email listserv for the Illinois Brewers Guild that you have to be a part of to be on there. So when I have spent barrels, to me now, they just take up space in the distillery because we're not in a large facility. So I just throw it out there, $75 a barrel. and different breweries jump all over and come and pick them up. I'm not as calculated as I should be about doing different collabs and projects. To me, I'm just like, I've got barrels taking up square footage, get them the fuck out of here. So I don't lowball on purpose. I'm just like, $75 is fair if you ask me.
So you're just fucking up the market because you're just coming in just at a price to move them?
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't care. Get them out of here. Right. And I'm like, I'm not delivering them anywhere. You guys got to come down.
These brewers are creaming their pants to get them at $75 a pop, probably.
Yeah, I know. Everyone's just like, what? I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Like, get them out of there. I mean, it's not many, right? It's like 10 at a time. So I'm not destroying anybody's livelihood that they've created in this whole brokerage world, but it's still funny. People are just like, all right, fine. And so I've got a lot of phone numbers, on like the barrel hotline now, where people are like, call me first. I'm like, okay.
Barrel hotline.
Barrel hotline can help you.
Barrel kickbacks?
Yeah.
Are they sending
yeah.
barrel steaks?
Can we man that phone for a little while?
Right,
The barrel hotline.
I would love to be on the barrel hotline.
I know. I want to
for a good
I'll
barrel.
gladly create an email alias for you guys and be like, you guys handle this.
As long as I don't get in trouble, this will be fine.
Yeah, it's funny though, because when all the brewers come in, they're like, all right, when were these dumped? When was this? Right? Because everybody's scared about infections, and I'm like, listen, this shit is sterile. There was just 125 proof booze in there. I'm like, you can throw a little bit of vodka in there, wet them down if you want, like whatever you need. I'm like, just stick your nose in there. Nothing is growing in there. You'll be fine.
Nothing's alive.
Yeah.
Oh, that is funny.
I tell you though, if you have us man your hotline, your barrels are probably just going to disappear into our hands in our garages somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to build forts with your barrels.
That's fine.
Barrel
if
forts.
you leave $75 so I can buy something else, I'm totally cool with that.
Chad, you can cover that.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks.